Walk with me.
Hear this, all people. Give ear, all ye inhabitants of the world, both low and high, rich and poor together. My mouth shall speak wisdom, and the meditation of my heart shall be of understanding. I will incline my ears to a parable, and I will open my dark saying upon the harp. Excuse me. Wherefore should I fear in the days of evil, when the iniquity of my heel shall compass me about? They that trust in their wealth and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches, none of them by any means redeem his brother, nor give to God a ransom for him. For the redemption of their soul is precious. It ceases forever. For he that should still live forever and not see corruption. For he seeth that wise men die. Likewise the fool and the brutish person perish, and leave their wealth to others. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. Nevertheless, man being in honor abideth not. He is like the beasts that perish. This is their way. This, their way, is their folly. Yet their prosperity approve their saying, Selah. Like sheep they are laid in the grave, and death shall feed on them. And the upright shall have dominion over them in the morning, and their beauty shall consume in the grave for their dwelling. But God will redeem my soul from the power of the grave, for he shall receive me. Selah. Be not afraid when one is made rich, when the glory of his house is increased. For when he dieth, he shall carry nothing away. His glory shall not descend after him. Though while he lived, he blessed his soul, and men will praise thee. And when thou doest well to thyself, he shall go to the generation of his fathers, and they shall never see light. Psalm of David, Psalms chapter 49. Yes, deliver me from the hands of evil spirits who have sway over the thoughts of men's hearts, and let them not lead me astray from thee, my God. Establish thou me and my seed forever, that we go not astray from henceforth and forevermore. Jubilees chapter 12 and verse 20. Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Those of you on this platform and those shared platforms, we thank God for you. And with a hand clap of praise, we thank God for those of you that have been with us from the beginning and hung right in there. We thank God for those of you that are been there thereafter and here and there's about. We thank God for you also, and those of you who have just subscribed, we thank God for you, and we thank the Most High for those of you that are about to subscribe, calling those things that is not as though they are. Yes, all praises to the Most High. Yes, yes, yes. We're in the book of Jasher. Yes, the book of Jasher. I'm Mr. Clay, and the book of Jasher. The book of Jasher, chapter 40, I believe it's chapter 44, isn't it? Yeah, 44. The book of Jasher, chapter 44, and we ended with verse 8, and we're going to begin at verse 9. Now, with Joseph, he had been after Jacob's grief, because he thinks that Joseph is demised. And his older sons are just going along with the whole program of the lie that they've concocted. They see their father's anguish and they wish they never had done it. And they see that even their blessing lies in their fathers. In their father. Yes. I can also say that with most men. If you find out you got a godly father, you got a good father, and he's standing on the statutes, ordinances, and the commandments of the Most High, you can't. That father is worth more than billions, because your blessing lies with him. Your blessing lies with your father. And these men of that day knew that. The blessing was with their father. Yeah, they honored their mother, but their father is what they cleaved to. This is what the jealousy of demons are about. This is why you have the matriarchal system to try to push back. See, God is a patriarch. See, people try to say he's a matriarch, but God is a patriarch. I mean, we say he, not that he's more male than he is female. He gives female those things which are needful for them to nurture and help man reproduce himself. Yes, he does. But God is patriarchy. He invented the man first. He caused the man to come first. Regardless of all these things we hear people say, and some of these books really are not in line with the commandments, statutes, and ordinances of the Most High. And you have to be careful. Everything got to be weighed by the law. It's got to be weighed by the law, whether the law was in its making, or it's got to be made by the law, because there's so, even back then, thousands of years, there were people who lied on God. And today you have these certain women that are pushed with the devil, and some of them are good with the scriptures too. And you're going to have to be careful, man, because they will try to sway you into Egyptology. In other words, that's matriarchal thinking. Even the present day Indian, the present day, even those who are of color and have been there, and who they even go into matriarchal things. But I always say, if that was so, why is she subject to the man? Let's make this make sense. You see the common sense in it. Look at the common sense in this matriarchal thing. Look at the common sense. Yeah, there are men who walk contrary to what they should be, and walking in favor of the Most High, and walking in honor and wisdom, and learning wisdom wherever they can get it, so they can rule their families with wisdom. But these matriarchies, these are demonic spirits who are set to effeminize the man. And no one is alienated from it. The only way you can defeat such spirits is to submit yourself to the command, statutes, ordinances, and laws of the Most High. Yes. This is the only way you can do it. And with this, we're going into verse 9. Potiphar sort of think this young man Joseph, a teenager really, he's about the same age I was, and I went into the military really, and he was desired. He was a man that did what he's supposed to do. He was quick to learn how to please. See, the colonizer did know about the tribe of Judah, whom he brought over, and so many on ships. Now there were people here. There were indigenous people here, not the ones you think, but they were indigenous people already here in the United States. Already here. Regardless of how you try to whatever you can do it, yeah, they were already here, indigenous. You have Mongoloids, you have Caucasoids, and you have Negroid. The Mongoloids came over, before the Mayflower or the good ship Jesus came. They came over before then, but then the indigenous was here before that. Now, there's a book also online that's called The Conquest of what? The Conquest of Mexico and Peru by the Mongolians. Mongolian Conquest of Mexico. It's right online. Just look it up. Mongolian Conquest of Mexico and Peru. You need proof, there's your proof, boy, girl, young man, young woman. That's your proof. And then you have other proofs, too, that Negroid type people were here, or Negroid people, nappy hair, big nose, lips, dark skin, just as chocolate brown as you could have them. Yes, don't get this wrong. Now there were those who were brought here on ships, although few than what was here. The numbers that they say that came on ships don't match. And so I give those things to Curie Mayo, and also I give it to those who are really showing this, that there were people here. Now, let's get into it. The Midian went and brought unto him the Ishmaelites, because Potiphar was curious. Where you get this boy from? This boy he's a good-looking boy. He don't look like a slave. He doesn't look like we would. I mean, he looks like a good black guy. I mean, desirable black young man. Just there. It looks like he has a good attitude. But this boy really went through hell to get where he got, even to this point with Potiphar. And they brought him unto the Ishmaelites and sold him to them. And they told him, saying, he is a slave, and we sold him to them. And Potiphar heard the words of the Ishmaelites, and is giving the silver unto the Midianim. And the Midianim took the silver and went on their journey, and the Ishmaelites also returned home. And Potiphar took Joseph and brought him to his house, and that he might serve him. And Joseph found favor in the sight of Potiphar, and he placed confidence in him and made him overseer over his house and all that belonged to him, and he delivered over into his hand. And the I Am was with Joseph, and he became the prosperous man of the I Am. And the I Am blessed the house of Potiphar for the sake of Joseph. Now, I can sort of identify with this, yes, as a young man. Yes, there were people that actually, there was a man, he took me into his house. I had a home, but he was just, I guess he didn't have a son or something. He just wanted some young man to be, I think the guy was about in his 40s. He was in his 40s. And he was a very nice guy, he very, down to earth country boy. But he didn't have any children really, not of his own seed. But the fact is he just wanted the company of a young man, and his wife, she was a nice lady, very nice and everything. But little did I know, something I really don't talk about, and I'm just going to leave it at that. But the fact is that, there was a thing about his spouse that surely manifested itself later. But no, the Most High kept me. I put it that way. The Most High kept me, and I was delivered of that thing. I mean, when you have to respect marriage, regardless of how an older person or maybe a man or woman come. If they're married, you have to respect that marriage. And it'll go well with you with the Most High if you do, young man, because there are going to be cougars out, and some of them are married, and they're going to seek young men. And here you are laying with them, and it could not go well with you in the long run, with God first, and then maybe even her husband. Even though you might not have meant nothing, she's tried everything in her power to seduce you and lure you into her clutches, that she might enjoy her lust upon you. See, God talks to the man. Keep saying that God talks to you, young man. See, society, in this matriarchal society, they always try to make you seem like you the man, because you can have all these women and lay with all kind of women. This is not God's way. This is not God's way. This is the way of devils. To make you think that your mother is one that is doing everything for you. Your mother, they say, oh, my child, or you, and you have to grow into a man yourself. Haven't you heard the song of Dax, To Be a Man? Don't get this backwards. The Bible is not only about Jacob, but it's talking to you, man. It's talking to you, young man. It's also warning you about this woman. Not that you shouldn't love her, and you're going to love her to death, but the fact is how to love her with wisdom. because she can be very devious and very inventive of evil things, and smile just like the sunshine is bright and a flower is red or yellow, and use sweet words. But you have to learn how to look beyond all that and see the truth in it about the woman. It's the same thing with the woman, with the man, but I'm speaking to the man right now. Stop being led about by your nostrils. In other words, your nose opened up, and then here you are going after this woman because you see beauty. It's not that. Read Psalms, I think it's chapter 23, 30, 23. I'm not Psalms, Proverbs 23, yes. Let us continue. I get off sidetrack. Now, and verse 13, and Potiphar left all that he had in the hands of Joseph, and Joseph was one that caused things to come in and go out, and everything was regulated by his wish in the house of Potiphar. And Joseph was 18 years old, a youth with beautiful eyes and comely appearance. Yeah, you got those locks and all these things, young man. Yeah, you looking good, you looking fresh, you can fry, yeah, everything cool, right? All right. Yeah, and like unto him was not in the whole land of Egypt. You got your chest poking out, your stomach not bulging out like us old men. I mean, looking good. That's for a reason. That you might be able to work in the days of your youth and develop your own wealth. Have the strength and stamina that in your old age you can sit back and enjoy your wealth. Now, at the time, while as he was in his master's house, going in and out of the house and attending his master, Zilekah, oh my goodness, she got a name. The wife of Potiphar has a name. The 66 books didn't tell you her name. This is in Hebrew. This was in Hebrew. That's just like you get with, see, a lot of people, they think that David, the wife of the man that David killed, it's even written on, somebody put it, they think that because they're a certain authority or got a certain number of people, that they're right. But you have to listen to the words they say, maybe, this indicates, this does this. There's no hard proof. Zilekah, that's a Hebrew word, but her name was something else in the Egyptian language. The same thing with the wife of the servant that David killed, because it's unheard of that they would even share their daughters with the children of the Hittites. But the Hittites was made to serve Israel during the time that David laid with Bathsheba. So how in the world can Bathsheba, just common deduction, common sense. I don't care how much you wear a tie or a suit or you got a great congregation, it don't matter to me. Or how much you can put all kind of things on your post and have all kind of graphics and all that. That's not nothing. Listen to the words and know the law. David married a heathen. That's who Bathsheba was. Don't play here. And Zilekah, that's the Hebrew name, his master's wife, lifted up her eyes toward Joseph, and she looked at him, and behold, he was a youth comely and well favored. And she covered his beauty in her heart. This fine young man, she was a cougar, boy, a cougar. And her soul was fixed upon Joseph, and she enticed him day after day. And Zilekah persuaded Joseph daily, but Joseph did not lift up his eyes to behold his master's wife. Now the angel speaking to Moses here said her name, translated her name or transliterated her name into Hebrew, Zilekah, and said unto him in verse 17, how goodly are thy appearance to form. This cougar was getting it, boy. Truly I have looked at all the slaves and have not seen so beautiful as a slave as thou, an adulterous cougar. All right. And Joseph said to her, surely he who created me in my mother's womb created all mankind. He just decided to make me nice, make me handsome. Yes, that's what he's saying to her. 18. And she said unto him, how beautiful are thy eyes. I mean, she was actually praising. I mean, there are some young men out there that are going through this thing. Well, you know this woman is married to this man, and this man is trusting you, young man. You come over his house, eating everything else, but don't touch his wife. Don't be a fool. Even though she might walk contrary, she might even walk through the house butt naked on you, but do not touch his wife. Surely he who created me in my mother's womb created all mankind. In other words, he's saying, I'm nothing new. In verse 18, she said unto him, how beautiful are thy eyes, which thou hast dazzled all the inhabitants of Egypt, men and women. Oh, my goodness. And he said unto her, how beautiful art thou whilst we are alive, but shouldest thou behold them in the grave, surely thou wouldest move away from them. In other words, it only takes a minute, and it's all over with. But eternity is forever. And she said unto him, how beautiful and pleasing are all thy words. Just his beauty bedazzled. He could say, oh, forget you, old bat, and she still would say the same thing. And take now, I pray thee, the harp which is in the house, and play with thy hands, and let us hear thy words. In other words, speak poetry to me, my dear little puppy. I'm your cougar, baby. Feed me. Yes. 20. And he said unto her, how beautiful and pleasing are my words when I speak the praise of my God and his glory. Joseph knew something here. And she said to him, how very beautiful is the hair of thy head. She just totally ignored it. Have you ever, if you are one that follow the Most High in the pardon, and then, vehemently as a young man, have you ever noticed how some women just overlook the holiness, the beauty of holiness, and all they see is the flesh of you, man? They go around, yeah, he fine, and they'll hold a party how fine you are. Come on here. How very beautiful is the hair of thy head. Behold, the golden comb which is in the house. Take it, I pray thee, and curl the hair of thy head. In other words, she said, just go on ahead and brush back them locks or whatever you're doing. And he said unto her, how long wilt thou speak these words? Cease to utter these words to me, and rise and attend to thy domestic affairs. And she said unto him, there is no one in my house. But to thy words and to thy wish, let notwithstanding all this, she could not bring Joseph unto her. Neither did he place his eye upon her, but directed his eyes below the ground. In other words, he didn't even look into her lips. Well, even the proverb said, don't look on her lips while it's red. And she got on this lipstick. And Zillah desired Joseph in her heart. And you're going to realize there's no such thing as a lust devil, but there's a devil that can take you and draw you of your lust. And when sin is formed in your heart, now that part is true. And the only thing it's waiting for is you to complete that sin so that you might be accused before the Most High and put to death eternally. And he should lie with her. And at the time, and Joseph was sitting in the house doing his work, and Zillah came and sat before him. And she enticed him daily. She's trying to really get to this thing. Now, today, in the matriarchal society, oh, this old woman, man, she keep doing it, man. I'm going to put her out of misery. I'm going to do this. I don't want to mess with this. I feel like I'm going to get cooties or something. Here you go. You land with another man's wife. This is about adultery. And this woman desiring this young man is no different than a man that he's married and he desired a young maiden. And she's working in his house and he's steadily flirting with her. She don't want him. but over and looked to her. But Joseph would not hearken to her. Verse 24, and she said unto him, if thou wilt do according to my words, I will chastise thee. If thou wilt not do according to my words, I will chastise thee the punishment of death, and put an iron yoke upon thee. And Joseph said unto her, surely God who created man looseth the feathers of prisoners, and it is he who will deliver me from thy prisons, from thy judgment. Now, she don't know. This man just went through pure hell, not only just by slavers, but his own family. He knows God. Now, when she could not prevail over him to persuade her soul, being still fixed upon him, her desire threw her into a grievous sickness, just like David was with the Hittite, Bathsheba. He was into a sickness. This devil came upon him. He saw this woman naked. Was she all that beautiful? I don't know. But it said but apparently she was. How come he was that way with her, but then when he went to Nabob and he saw one of the women when he was younger, and he protected his crops and everything, David stood up there and what did he do? He did not try to lay with the man's wife. He didn't go and kill the man. God killed the man, and she became his wife. But she was an Israelite. Now you ask yourself, why did God choose a heathenistic woman to be? Because if you think about it, just her DNA was in Solomon. Solomon caused the whole kingdom of Israel to be rent. He was the seed of David, but he was also part of an Hittite people that God did not like. Let us continue. And Zilkah answered them, saying, this day it shall be made known to you whence this order springs, in which you see me. And she commanded her maidservants to prepare food for all the women. And she made a banquet for them. And all the women ate in the house of Zilkah. And she gave them knives to peel the citrons, to eat them. And she commanded that they should dress Joseph in costly garments. In other words, she wanted him to look pretty, like a prince. I can't describe the picture that this young man would look like, because I can't see another man looking, you're a handsome young man, but I ain't got nothing for you like that. But either way, she gave him knives, and Joseph in costly garments, that he should appear before them. And Joseph came before their eyes, and all the women looked on Joseph just like a man would parade his beautiful wife amongst his brethren. Now, but this woman is taken. She's a woman. She knows the laws, statutes, commandments, and ordinances of the Most High, because they were taught to Mizraim also, and could not take their eyes from off him. And they all cut their hands with the knives, and they had in their hands, and all the citrons that were in their hands were filled with blood. These women looking so hard and lustful, the tongue dripping, or whatever you want to call it. And they knew not what they had done, but they continued to look at the beauty of Joseph. Here's this man that's been beaten and probably had bruises on him, but he was still pretty to him. And they did not turn their eyelids from him. And Zilkah saw what they had done, and she said unto them, what is this work that you have done? Behold, I gave you citrons to eat, and you have all cut your hands. And all the women saw their hands, and behold, they were full of blood. And their blood flowed down upon their garments. And they said unto her, this slave in your house has overcome us. Oh, he's so fine. Oh, God, he's so fine. And we could not turn our eyelids from him on account of this beauty. And she said unto them, surely this happened to you in the moment that you looked at him, and you could not contain yourselves from him. How then can I refrain when he is constantly in my house, and I see him day after day going in and out of my house, not knowing there's a devil speaking to your mind day in and day out? And how then can I keep from declining or even from perishing on the account of this? And with that, we're going to come back with it later. We're going to say peace.
Walk with me.